we go once again. Bread etiquette. When it comes to bread, bread comes with soup. So you have to wait for your soup to come along before you even start eating your bread. It's a no-no to cut your bread into two and make a burger. Please don't do that again. And it is also a no-no to cut your bread into tiny pieces like a little child. So there you go. When it comes to taking soup, no slurping when it comes to eating your soup. It's all about taking your soup in the right way. And they say you must spoon your soup away from you. Otherwise, you may have an accident. When it comes to taking salad during fine dining, this is where your knowledge of knife and fork actually comes to play. You don't just take any knife and fork. There are what we call a salad knife and fork, and that usually is placed on the outside of your cutlery on the table. The lady on our right hand side, she takes the right knife and fork. The gentleman doesn't like his salad at all. And as usual, we see it all the time, using just the fork to eat your salad. The right way is to pick up both knife and fork. Bon appetit. Okay, they're still eating. This is the fun part of fine dining etiquette, knowing exactly how to use your knife and fork. What's up with the gentleman using his hands in a fine restaurant like this? All he needs to do is learn how to use the knife and fork properly, and he'll go away. Okay, we've come to the end of the meal and we're having our dessert. You must realize that when it comes to dessert, you should be using both your spoon and your fork at the same time. It's not on the table for nothing. It's there for a reason. Ideally, spoon should be in the right hand and your fork in your left hand. Use your spoon to cut and your fork to eat.
Welcome back. So, Janet, we're tidying up on the napkins. We're done with that, but we just saw them. They finally began to eat.
Yes.
Let's go to that. I noticed that you said something about picking up the right fork and the...
Yes. You always have to remember that your knife is in your right hand and your fork is in your left hand at all times, whether it is the starter or the main meal. But the whole idea about dining properly is how to hold the cutlery. Okay, so you still have some people that almost stab their food. They still hold it like a pencil. And no matter how much I do my trainings, it's a case of old habits die hard, because I would have done it, I would have shown them, okay, now let's practicalize, and everybody goes back to the normal old habits. It's a matter of practice. But basically, when it comes to holding your knife and fork, it's as simple as holding it in your palm first, just like this. And you just have to turn it around and support it with your index finger, like this. Once you've supported it with your index finger, it's a case of digging your fork into the food first and then cut. So I still get people putting the knife behind the fork or putting the knife so close to the fork that by the time you want to pick it up, it has fallen off. So you just put a bit, don't put it in the middle of the food, put it by the side and then cut. Simply cut and then put it in your mouth like that.
Okay.
So, good.
Now, you have a whole set of glasses here.
And
bowls
plates.
and plates.
Right.
And all of that.
So just for people to understand what is what, especially like we talked about that in buffet etiquette last week. When you see a bowl as deep as this definitely is the soup bowl. And this sometimes is placed, like 3 plates can be placed on your setting at once. You know you're going to have soup first. The side plate usually is for you to put your bread on. Okay? Or sometimes you have your salad. This is a decent salad plate, not a salad bowl, salad plate. And of course, the main meal is the largest plate, and it's usually the last. So the largest plate like this is for your dinner setting. And with glasses, I must say, please don't go to any event and pick someone's glass or take someone's bread. Your glasses are always on the right-hand side. And your bread is always on the left-hand side. So you go to functions sometimes and you're like, where's my glass? So your neighbor has actually taken your glass. So simply put...
I'm looking at these glasses as I'm picking them up.
Good.
Usually there's this confusion as regards the different kinds of glasses on the table. You have the one that's meant for water, you have the wine glass, you have the champagne glass, and all of that. But
How does it work?
Someone say this is for those that
water
take
or
beer.
juice. No, you don't take beer at the dining table.
Okay, tell that
You
some
take it
of us.
after. But yes, let me quickly tell you. Normally you have a setting like this, so you will have a tumbler, and it's for water or juice, depending on you. And there are two types of glasses. One is usually smaller, wine glasses. One is usually smaller than the other. The smallest is usually for white wine, and the bigger is usually for red wine, okay? And as you can see, all these wine glasses, they all have a long stem, a base, and a rim. It's about holding the glass properly. So it's not all glasses you hold like this. Most times it's a lot easier to hold by the stem, okay? And the tallest of all your glasses is easily the champagne glass because of the journey that it needs to travel with. But I must say, if you go to a cocktail and you need to shake hands, you can't have one glass in one hand and food in the other. There's a way we teach you how to actually hold both your plate and your glass in one hand during a cocktail.
Which frees your other hand to
Which
shake
frees your
hands.
other hand to shake hands and to gesture. So that's what it's all about. Of course, you may go to a fine dining environment and you see chopsticks. A lot of people say, I can't use those. I'm going to pick up my fork. I think it's time to start being adventurous and learn how to use the chopsticks. It's quite easy once you get to learn it.
What about
Yes.
just using your hands?
In a Chinese restaurant.
No, our friend in the video did that. I mean,
Yeah,
it was
and that-
comfortable.
yes.
They'll say, I want to eat, I need to be comfortable.
In his
True.
dining
But in
room.
his he's well dressed, well suited up, and it doesn't look appropriate, you know. And finally, I must say, when you're passing things around, never pass them across. So somebody wants water, just pass it to your right hand side.
Okay.
And salt and pepper. Somebody says, can I have the salt, please? You usually say salt and pepper are married. You should
Right.
pass them together, whether they like it
Or not.
or not. So salt and pepper go together.
Okay,
like
not
that.
not salt. Pass me the salt.
No.
It has to
And,
be.
and don't say, can you pass me the salt, please? And you say, oh, yeah, you want some salt? And pass it on. Okay?
Thank
So just
you,
pass it
Janet.
on. You're welcome.
That's a lot that you brought, that you've taught us today, and I think that you're going to have to do this again sometime.
Yeah.
We're gonna have
Yes,
to
because
take it.
there's a lot of
Maybe I
issues.
should do
Spoons
the
there you didn't talk
cutlery
about.
There's a
one
whole lot
time.
of spoons. This is
And
my
then-
favorite spoon, by the way. And what is this? It's such a funny spoon. The stem is bent over, but it's really a gourmet spoon, and it's placed on the plate where you have salad, and you just put some salad dressing in it, or piece of lettuce and prawns. It's just to make the plate look fancy, nothing else.
Fancy, fancy.
Yes.
Well, maybe you need to come and take this
Yes.
in little bits, so
Absolutely.
so that people can take it in
Yes,
properly
yes,
and be able
we'll
to
have- yes.
practice and
Yes,
you know, be
that we
able
can
to
do. Yes.
You could actually
put
practice
on their
this.
best behavior at dinner.
And that's what it's all about. Seriously speaking, lots of people have lost their jobs just over dining, how to behave and use their table setting properly. And it means that that's how they're going to behave in front of VIP clients.
Okay, Janet Adetu,
Thank you.
the fine skills coach. Thank you very much for
You're
coming.
most welcome. Thank you.
See you next week.
Thank you.
Okay, Sunrise will be right back with a home stretch in just a moment. Make sure you're there.